You know, it's a pleasure to have this office. It's sequestered in a little courtyard off of Union Street, which begins to help relax the mind and the body for our work together. Let's go. You know, it's been a pleasure to find such a wonderful location in San Francisco. Feels like a blessing to have this courtyard office and to work here around artists and other private business owners. It creates just a real lovely, tranquil setting. I feel blessed to be able to have my business here. Hello, I'm Kate Jones, and I wanted to take this opportunity to say a little bit about my background and how I came to be a body-centered life coach here in San Francisco. My journey in somatics began as a dancer many years ago, and I danced semi-professionally for many years, which brought me to earning a degree under the teaching of a woman from UCLA to become a movement therapist. I then went on to study an integral degree of psychology, philosophy, and dance, or movement studies. So that's when I left university and came into the world and opened my practice of body-mind movement in I think it was 84. And for many, many years, I practiced as a transformational, body-centered bodywork professional. And we were working with helping awaken awareness in the body through that bodywork modality. As time passed and more people were telling me their stories and experiencing deep change in the work we were doing, I became interested to pursue more study in psychology. So I went back to school, took many more classes in developmental psychology and the theory and principles in counseling psychology. From there, I studied under a Native American elder for about 5 years and learned experientially, was involved in Native American ceremony and practice during those 5 years, which opened my understanding directly of the spiritual dimension of physical practice and ceremony. Then I studied with Angeles Arrien, who was an anthropologist in the Bay Area here, in her Fourfold Way program, which helped me understand the perennial wisdom of what helps people heal from a cross-cultural perspective. And her 4 healing salves are spending time in silence, dance, storytelling, and a movement practice. So I felt quite ready and I was folding all these learnings into my work as I studied them over the years. And most recently, 2012, I've completed 3 years of study in sensory motor psychotherapy, which was a wonderful training in Berkeley related to understanding how we develop, how the brain develops, and how certain of our patterns of behavior become entrained in the central nervous system and become the foundation of our beliefs, which then direct our actions in the world. So I feel I've arrived at this point to my body-centered life coaching practice, which has been the center of my work and my profession for the last 10 years. I feel most blessed to now be able to synthesize the movement study aspect, the somatic, physical aspect, along with the ability to appreciate how an individual has learned based on their childhood to develop strategies for safety, which are very much at the root of what needs to change if we're going to reach for new dimensions of our own livelihood and aliveness. So I wanted to give you that little bit of background. I've been in business for over 30 years, and I'm so excited about the work I do. Thank you. Hello, I'm Kate Jones, and I'm a body-centered life coach here in San Francisco. And I wanted to take this moment with you to describe the difference between good forms of life coaching and how body-centered life coaching is different. In body-centered life coaching, I work with two branches of coaching methods. One is what I call outer coaching, the other is inner coaching. Outer coaching is where the bulk of good coaching, whether it's business or personal or life coaching, happens. Outer coaching is an individual is living their life. They know they want to be experiencing either a promotion in their work or experience themselves in relationship differently, or they want to be earning more money. There's some desire to move from where they are to a new platform of where they want to be. And that outer coaching, as I orient to my clients, we clarify exactly what that picture is that they're carrying in their heart and their mind, the life they want to be living. And then we explore through various processes, clarify expectations they have of what that life will bring them, what the value of it is for them. So we're building and sort of expressing the belief and the emotion that goes with wanting this change. From that point, we clarify our destination of where we want to go, and then we make a time plan and action steps as to how to achieve that goal. So we craft the arc of time and we begin moving down that road. That is outer coaching. What I notice, however, did you ever notice this? That very often we'll start towards what we're wanting, and we either get distracted, diverted, or frightened, or we'll hit some kind of a wall of resistance, right? So at that moment, we want to slow down and embrace the resistance. We turn toward the resistance, and at that moment in the coaching, we're moving into inner coaching. Because all human beings develop by learning how to adjust to their environments to be safe and successful in life, right? To be able to live and feel secure. Very often, if we're taking a step, say to increase our earnings or to step into a more visible professional position, that can threaten an earlier layer of learning that would believe, there would be a belief often that says it's not so safe to be more visible in the world. That's not an uncommon fear. So we then spend time together in our coaching practice to become more related to that fear. We come to understand it, and we become present through different practices and processes of how do we befriend that fear? How do we get to know that anxiety? The anxiety is telling us there is a need there, some form of a need that we need to respond to and want to respond to. So we turn toward the fear, the anxiety, whatever it might be, the resistance, the anger very often, and we learn to transform fear to liberate it into its form of enthusiasm or vital interest. And then with that healing occurring, and that happens through the body, because very often the body, you see, is carrying the map, the sensory map of why we feel it's unsafe in our metaphor here of becoming more visible in the world, in a profession. The body is carrying the map of why that is a threat. And so we follow the sensations to the limiting belief. And once we're in front of the limiting belief, we can transform it. So I wanted you to know today that in body-centered life coaching, the felt sense in the body, the quality of the breath, the gestures, the body armoring, the muscular tensions, the postural patterns are all a language that's constantly expressing what we're feeling, what we're believing, and who we are. So it's most effective, very wonderful work to be able to open and embrace to our bodies in that way. So we're partnering with our bodies with deepening an awareness and liberating our vitality and excitement. Thank you. Hello, I'm Kate Jones, and I'm a body-centered life coach here in San Francisco. And in this segment, I want to express and give you 3 examples of 3 different kinds of clients that who have come to see me, what their goals in the life coaching work were, and how they're progressing in the transformations that they desire. The first one is a young woman in her early 30s who has had a weight issue since childhood. And she arrived here knowing that I do body-centered life coaching. And her stated goal was, I want to develop an image of myself that is not dependent on my body size. Good goal. So as we started working, we got into an interesting conversation about her relationship to her body. And as it turns out, she had the felt sense that her body was her enemy. It was always too big, too heavy, too something, too a source of shame, and so forth. But we broke it down, we slowed it down, and I asked her to think about what her body has how it's consistently shown up for her. And in that, she began to realize her body has been ever loyal, ever healthy, ever adjusting to the changes that would come about by different diet plans. And so she discovered her body as actually being a very loyal friend. And with that change, we have deepened into deepening the relationship with her body in a more respectful, compassionate relationship, such that now she's not only lost 40 pounds, but she is in a revelation that she can live differently with her body. She also goes to bed every night with a hand on her heart, a hand on her tummy, and she reflects on three things she's very grateful for during the day. Anything that happened. The birds sang this morning outside the window. And then at the close, she reflects to her body and says, if I have caused you any harm today by my actions, I sincerely apologize. I mean you no harm. And from that new platform, we're finding changes in her self-image, her sense of herself, and the primary relationship with her body. Thank you. Hello, my name is Kate Jones, and in this segment I want to share with you two brief stories of two clients, two individuals who came to me to do body-centered life coaching work, so that you can have a sense of the kinds of issues and needs that are served effectively by body-centered life coaching. I am a body-centered life coach in San Francisco. The first is I want to describe a young attorney, right around, well, he's kind of middle, late 40s, two children at home, established as a family law attorney, completely competent and capable. But he came to me and said, Kate, I want to have a profession. I want to shift my profession to where I can feel the heart and meaning of the work I'm involved in. Somehow I'm not getting there with law. And so we have helped him do some visioning work and experiential work that has him experience and feel what does give him an enthusiastic and vibrant lift when he thinks about exploring a new profession. We followed a particular map to help him follow those cues in his body as to where he feels uplifted, turned on, lit up, excited, by naming the values that he is a stand for. So now he's exploring the transition from being a family law attorney to being a coffee merchant, whereby he will travel to foreign countries, understand coffee growing, harvesting, roasting, and serving. So that's one story. And I'm working with that gentleman at a distance via Skype. The other brief story I wanted to share is about a young woman trained as an engineer, works in one of the local firms here in San Francisco, very well employed, but she came to me when she realized she'd hit a wall of panic, actually, in her career as an engineer, young engineer. And she was able to get a little time off from work, went into a part-time arrangement. And during that time, we began to explore where would she be best suited to engage with her work. And as we uncovered what was it that had her feel essentially frightened or anxious, rather in an extreme form, we helped modulate her fear so that she could be within her window of tolerance, feel that her thinking was balanced with her emotion and with her sense of being safe and secure. And from that foundation, she picked up her camera and she went out and began to see the world through the lens of her camera. And she is now well on her way to being a portrait photographer, which she's finding a tremendous exuberance around and satisfaction in doing. And she's committed to making that transition without losing any of her six-figure income. So it's quite a lovely process, particularly when you can work with the body to partner with the beliefs that are telling us we're on track or we've verged a little away from our evolutionary path or the path of greatest authenticity. So I am Kate Jones, Body-Centered Life Coach in San Francisco. I'd love to hear from you. You can find out more about my work on my website, which is bodymindmovementsf.com. You can contact me through the site or reach me by calling 415-613-6507. Thank you. Hello, I'm Kate Jones, Body-Centered Life Coach here in San Francisco. And today I'm happy to introduce for the first time a principle and a process that I'm introducing into my work called coming to ground. What I've found in 30 years of working, whether in transformational body work or as a life coach, as a dancer, that what is most helpful to live with greater ease and mindfulness in our lives is to have a foundational understanding of our human anatomy, and how we're put together, how it works, the biomechanics of our skeletal structure, our muscular system, and what is the movement potential that's actually in the structure itself. So I have created Coming to Ground as a forum, as a seminar, as a workshop, as a place to learn together about functional anatomy and mindfulness practices to work with the body with a kind of deepened compassion and understanding, which results in being able to live with greater equanimity and take actions in our lives with greater ease. Many of us struggle with various forms of back pain, chronic headaches, knee and joint difficulties pretty much at every level. And so much of that can be relieved by understanding how to better use ourselves, engage with our own movement more effectively. And that's why that's what's motivating me to open a new chapter in my work called Coming to Ground. So please, stay tuned for more information on Coming to Ground, and you can also find more about me and Body-Centered Life Coaching by going to the website, bodymindmovementsf.com, and contact me via email through that site. You can also call me directly at 415-613-6507. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Hello, I'm Kate Jones, a Body-Centered Life Coach here in San Francisco. And today I want to share with you from the body of work called Coming to Ground, which is a experiential anatomy aspect of the work I teach. I want to share with you a rest position that helps reboot energy and helps relaxation. It's called the constructive rest position. You know, life is stressful, and if you've ever noticed, sometimes you finish a workday, you're a little depleted. This rest posture that I'm about to show you is a wonderful 10-minute exercise that would help you transition from, say, the end of a workday into a nice evening out with friends. You can also use it at your office if you kind of hit a fatigue wall during the workday. You can close the door, do this 10-minute practice, and feel re-energized to look at the next part of your day. It's also nice to do it to come back to a neutral and a nice balanced energy prior to going to bed. Sort of release the day so you can transition into sleep. So this is called the constructive rest posture. I'm going to show it to you now. All you need is a safe, you can do this on your bed if you have a firm mattress. You can do it down on the floor, which is where I'm showing it to you now. And just a couple of things you might want to have to make yourself more comfortable in the posture. One would be to take just a hand towel from the bathroom and place it down by the feet. What we want is we want the balls of the feet to rest with a little bit of elevation. You don't need to have that, but I'm just showing you sort of an optimal position. Then you want to take a cloth belt or a scarf of some kind. Again, you don't absolutely need it, but it helps the posture. And you just, above the knees, you're just going to tie that cloth belt or scarf around the knees securely, so the knees rest into each other. The feet are slightly wider apart, the knees buttress together, and then you simply roll down onto the floor, leaving that slight curve, natural curve of the lumbar. And if you need a little neck support, let me just show you. You take another hand towel, put a little roll in the hand towel, and give your cervical curve just a little bit of support. It feels wonderful. If you find that your head is too tilted because of your postural pattern, you can take one more folded towel and place it there so the head is in neutral. This is the resting posture, the constructive rest posture. And it was discovered and designed by a movement researcher named Lulu Swigard, who was looking for the optimal position for the body to rest and restore itself. It's how the posture came about. Now, two things. One, you can rest with your hands easily, one on your belly, one on your chest. And as you close your eyes into this posture, you just begin to breathe, listening to the movement of your breath under your hands. And before long, you will feel your body beginning to de-stress. The muscles will soften and let go. The facial mask becomes more relaxed. And if you've been feeling particular tension across your shoulders and neck, you might try bringing the arms up and crossing at the elbows. So you're just bending at the elbows and allowing the arms to rest in this fashion. What that does is it opens the rhomboids at the back of the shoulder blades, really allowing the back to widen and lengthen. I like to set a timer for just 10-12 minutes. Breathe and let the posture help you rebalance, restore energy. So at the end of your 10 minutes of rest, you can simply come out of the posture, release the knees. I'll just show you how to do this real easily. You just fold to one side, roll onto your hands and knees here. You might want to rest for a moment in fallen leaf position. And then drop your tailbone down, roll up to a sitting posture, tilt forward, bring a foot forward, step onto your feet, drop your head, and roll to a standing posture. So that is the constructive rest position. I hope you enjoy it and use it to good benefit. Kate Jones, Body-Centered Life Coach. You can go to my website, bodymindmovementsf.com, to understand more about body-centered life coaching, and stay tuned to this channel for more on Coming to Ground. Thank you.